Alright, hello, I'm the Geek, and today I wanted to tell you guys about CCU chaining in Star Citizen. Now I hope that this will be a all-encompassing guide to CCU chaining so that you can watch this video and know as much as there is to know, and then go out and do it if that's what interests you. Alright, so first off, what's a CCU? Well, CCU stands for Cross Chassis Upgrade, and it's essentially where you say, hey, I have a, let's say, Cutter Scout, and it's just I'm not really feeling it, I wish I had a 300i. I saw in a YouTube video that the 300i was a cool ship, but, Cutter Scout's $50 and 300i is $60. I could melt my Cutter Scout and then go and buy the 300i with the store credit from my Cutter Scout, which you can do, but sometimes if your account's newer, then you can't melt it for 30 days. So instead, you can upgrade your Cutter Scout to the 300i, which costs $10. So you're just replacing the Cutter Scout in your hanger with a 300i or whatever ship you choose to upgrade, and you'll only be paying the difference in the cost. So Cutter Stout's $50, 300i $60. You'll just pay $10, and you'll have a 300i now instead of a Cutter Stout once you apply the upgrade. And the upgrades once you buy the upgrade, it'll sit in your hanger. Like, for example, just recently I bought a M2 to Hull D upgrade for a CCU chain, and now it's sitting in my hanger until I go to apply it, and then I'll select a ship that it can apply to. Currently, I don't own an M2 or anything that's been upgraded to an M2, so I can't apply it to anything, but I will at some point in the future, and then I'll explain that later. So that's what a CCU is. That's how they work. How can you save money with them? Because, that's the whole thing, right? This video is, at the end, I want to teach you how to save $235 on a Polaris right here, right now, today. So how can I save money with CCUs? Well, first off, we're going to have to talk about war bond sales. Now, a war bond sale is something where you can just, let's say, in this game, when you go to buy something, you can buy it with either store credit or new money. New money will be money straight out of your bank account, right out of your wallet, whereas store credit will be, credit that you have from, let's say, you had some kind of pledge and then you melted it. So then you got the cost of that pledge back in store credit, which is, you can spend it on ships in game. Now, if I wanted to buy, let's say, this 350R, and let's say I wanted to buy an upgrade from, uh, let's say we have a Nomad, and we want to get into racing, so we want the 350R. Now, how we have two options on how we want to do this. We can either spend $45 of store credit on the 350R, or it can be new money. You can spend $45 out of your bank account, or spend $45 of store credit, or a mix of both. Or what you can do is you can choose the War Bond Edition, which is War Bond is a limited time sale, and we can do the War Bond Edition where you'll only have to spend $35 on the upgrade instead of $45, which means you'll save $10. However, this $35 needs to be real or new money. It needs to be new money. So you can't use any of your store credit on here, which is why what I would recommend you do when buying a ship that's on War Bond is find the most expensive ship you can, the right underneath it that's currently available. So the Centurion, that's always available. It's 310, which means I'll be getting the discounted price of the 350R, which is $10 off, and I'll only have to spend $5 of new money instead of $35. And then what I can do from there is I can use the Nomad that I want to upgrade to it and buy an upgrade from a Nomad to a Centurion. And that would be $30, but at least that $30 I can use store credit on if I had it. If you don't have store credit, you just want to spend new money, then skip the Centurion, cut out the middleman, and just use new money. But if you want to use that, if you want to use store credit, then that's the best way to do it, because those war bond upgrades need to be bought with new money, and they are how you save money on ship pledges. Now, I know this is a little confusing, but hopefully with a example, you can understand it better. And the last thing I want to talk about before I get to the example would be, when are war bond sales available? Well, war bond sales are available in limited times, usually at times like this during special events. Like right now, we're in the IAE 2953, and this is a prime time for war bond sales. Every day, there's one or two sales on ships for war bonds and upgrades, and this is the time you're going to want to use for war bond sales. Times like IAE, times like Invictus, certain times throughout the year as new ships come available, and as certain sales happen, like certain events, maybe Luminalia might have some war bond sales. St. Patrick's Day, which in game I think is Stella Fortuna, is what that event's called in game, Stella Fortuna, St. Patrick's Day. That might have some war bond sales. Just whenever there's like a holiday, check for war bond sales. But as you get into CCU chaining, you'll learn to kind of just briefly check the pledge store every day or so for any war bond sales that are available, because it's in the name of saving money. So then it only takes like a minute. All right, now let's talk about how to get the Polaris for over $200 cheaper right now. And if you wait, you could probably get it for even more. So here's an example of a CCU chain, by the way. This is from upgrading from a Dragonfly, which I got from a what was a referral offer or a referral reward. So I referred a player, they bought the game, and I got a Dragonfly for free. And then I upgraded from the Dragonfly to the Merchantman by chaining together a bunch of CCU upgrades, a bunch of Warbond CCUs that saved me a lot of money. And as you can see, this is them right here. So just over the time, I saved lots of money through these different upgrades, and also through value increases, because ships, as they come closer to releasing or do release, they go up in value. So that also saves you money. And as you can see right here, I saved $445 on a Banu Merchantman, which costs $650 currently. So CCU chaining can really take you a long way if you choose to wait and build your CCU chain over time. This thing I started 2 years ago when I first got the game. CCU chaining is not too hard. It can be a little complicated at the start, but it gets really easy once you get used to it. And it only took me like a few weeks to learn how to do it. And next thing you know, I'm making a CCU chain like this, and now I just capped it off basically. $445 in savings. I only spent $205 on a $650 ship that'll probably just keep on going up in price until it gets released. That's what CCU chaining can do for you. So, since the Polaris is a very popular ship, let's see how you can save some money on it. So, first of all, let's choose a ship we want to start out with. And I'm going to go for the Aurora MR because, everyone has had an Aurora at some point, most likely. Aurora MR. There we go. So the Aurora MR is our starter ship. We pledged $30 for it. We saved nothing because it wasn't any kind of special war bond sale. And the price of the ship is $30. And then we're just going to type Aurora MR right there. And now we have to choose our first upgrade to it. Well, I guess first we want to type down here. Well, I cannot type right now. Aurora MR. And we're just doing an arrow to the Polaris. And we'll type in the end goal right down here, which is a Polaris, and it costs $750. Now, also worth showing off, this is a spreadsheet that I made myself. It's pretty simple. You type in the name of the ship you want right here, the ship you'll upgrade it to, and then you can type in the pledge price of the ship, the savings price, how much you're saving on it if it's a war bond sale, and then the price of the ship that you upgraded to, And then if there's any value increases, when applicable, you can type them in here. So, like for example, if I had, let's see if here's a good example. I had an F7CM, the Hurricane upgrade that I was just kind of sitting on, and then it ended up going up by $15. The Hurricane, it increased in price by $15 from $195 to $210. And I was able to type in $15 value increase, which adds to my savings, which the equation's right here for savings. It's sum of the saving column plus the value increase. Yeah, I'll explain that more at the end of the video if you want to copy down exactly what I have in here. All right, so first things first, let's secure the Polaris at its current price. And conveniently, it has a war bond sale. So for 700, so we're already saving $50 just by doing this. And so we're just going to find the most expensive ship to upgrade to, or upgrade from. And technically it's the Perseus. However, let's go for Perseus. All right, so that'd be a $25 upgrade from the Perseus to the Polaris. And the Perseus is just going to act as a middleman here, where we're really just using the Perseus to, I don't know why I tried to capitalize this. We're really just using the Perseus as a middleman so that we can spend less money less new money as opposed to store credit. However, if you don't if you don't have any store credit to spend, if you don't care about it, you just want to, spend new money and get the CCU chain over with right now, then you can feel free to cut out the middleman. I'll be very clear when there is a middleman. The Perseus is a great example of a middleman. And technically the Aurora MR is too. But we'll talk about that later. So, we have the Perseus to Polaris CCU. And no, I'm not going to be actually buying these upgrades in the video. I have no interest in the Polaris, but it's a very popular ship right now, so I figured it'd be a good thing to start with. So now we have two decisions, two different ships that are both priced at $650, meaning we have to pick one to, be our upgrade to the Perseus from. And the Merchantman has $600 off. Meanwhile, the Orion is, which little at $75 off. Worth saying that the Merchantman, I think I misspoke and said it was $600 off. No, it's only $50. But the Orion is $75 off. So we're going to use that. And we're going to upgrade we're going to choose the M2 Hercules. And the reason why is because, like I said earlier, ships can go up in value, which can be amazing for you if you have an upgrade to a ship. Like, let's say I bought an upgrade from the M2 Hercules to the Hull D, and then CIG announces that the Hull D is coming out pretty soon, and once it does come out, they'll increase the value of the Hull D, and your Hull D is more expensive, but you already secured the price at $550. That's great, but it can also go both ways. If I had an upgrade from a Hull D to an Orion, and I never secured that Hull D's price by buying an upgrade from one ship to the Hull D, then if the Hull D increased in price, it's gonna kill the savings from the Orion, because now the Hull D cost, $500. Let's say now the Hull D costs $600, meaning it's now $50 more, so I have to spend $50 more to upgrade to the Hull D. So, and that's why I'd be careful with using concept ships as, kind of open-ended things where you don't have an upgrade to it, because they can increase in value and it can just kill your CCU chain so fast, or at least kill the savings in your CCU chain in certain parts. Whereas if you have an upgrade to a concept ship and then you leave some space above it, or technically below it, I guess, you leave some space below it, for it to increase in value, that can be good for you, but that's all speculation. So we're just going to take the M2 Hercules to Orion for $55, and it's saving us $70. So, gonna do that. I know this video is going to feel a little ranty. However, there is a lot of content in here, so I encourage that you do some of your own research, and also, watch this video as many times as you need, because, like I said, it can be very complicated CCU chaining. But once you figure it out, you're saving lots of money. All right, so now I already have $125 saved, and I've only bought 3 upgrades, and so far I've spent, not too much on War Bond, only, that would be 80, so only 110 on like new money, and then $25 in store credit, potentially. That's what you want to do. Now let's look for the next discount, which would be the 600i Explorer for a $30 discount. All right. So we'll put the 600i here. All right. The 600i cost $475. It's a war bond sale of $30, and we're going to upgrade to it from the Prowler, which is only $5. $5. And from the 600i to the M2, it would be $45. So now we've saved an extra $30. And keep in mind, we could also leave the 600i and M2 upgrades. We could separate them a little bit because that's $45. Potentially, the M2 could go on sale for, let's say, $30. And then you can buy a war bond sale from the 600i to M2 for only $15 and save $30 on the M2. So there is always like options to leave room in your CCUs. Like right here, for example, in my Galaxy CCU chain, I have a gap left out. This is quite a big gap, and I don't think it'll ever be filled by anything. But it's just, I'm using it for an example. I have a gap filled out between these two ships. It's $25. And the idea is that maybe someday the Blade will go on sale for hopefully $20. And I'll be able to just buy an Inferno to Blade upgrade for only $5. And then I'll save an extra $20 on the ship. And like I said, I'm not too confident that'll happen, but there's always the possibility, and the Galaxy isn't even out yet, so there's not really a reason for me to want to upgrade all the way down to it. That's the nice thing about CCUing to a concept ship. You can take your time. Like the Polaris, it probably still has another year of development before it's in the game, so you can really take your time and develop the CCU chain to save even more money. Because, the Polaris is expensive. You can save upwards of $400 if you try hard enough. This is just a start. But that's up to you whether you want to, keep it, just get through it immediately, or if you want to, let it sizzle for a little bit, let it simmer. All right, let's find the next thing. So, the next war bond sale at this point will probably be the Redeemer. So the Redeemer is $310, and we're going to upgrade to it from, probably not the Scythe, because I don't think that's always available. We're going to upgrade it from the Eclipse. None of these ships are always available, but it's okay. So, Redeemer. Eclipse and Eclipse. So the Redeemer is $330. The Eclipse is $300. I believe this CCU here is saving us $20, and so we're spending $10 because, yeah, $30 difference, and we're only spending $10, so we're saving $20 on it. And then the Redeemer to Prowler is a CCU upgrade that costs $110 a pledge, and we're saving nothing on it because the Prowler isn't on sale. However, this is a big gap right here, $110 difference. You could definitely leave some space there if you wanted to, and you could leave some space there for other discounts to come out and use that. And maybe you'll have a discount that you can insert in there. I know the Prowler has gone on sale for War Bond in the past during Alien Week, which is not too long after Invictus launch week, which is towards right around the beginning of Q2 of the year. So you could, leave some time for that to maybe go on sale. Anyways, so there's that stuff. Currently, we're saving $175. It's a little bit slower as you get towards the cheaper ships because the larger ships always go on sale for a lot more money. Now, we're going to sort lowest price at this point because we're getting down to that amount. The next ship that we can save money on is the Corsair, which looks like a $20 savings. These, the Corsair, the Redeemer, the 600i, and the Vulture are all on sale right now because of the Best in Show, because they won the Ship Showdown event, which was earlier this year. And these Best in Show war bonds usually aren't the best. Like only $20 saving on a Corsair. Usually it can be up to 25 or 30 if a Corsair was on war bond. But oh well, we'll take what we can get, right? So the next upgrade will be from the Corsair, and the Raylan. We're probably going to need to add some more room in here, but we'll get to that when we get to that. So Raylan to Corsair, the upgrade is $5. We're saving $20, and this is a $0 savings and $50 upgrade. Once again, the Eclipse, it goes on sale during Invictus, or it can. It has in the past. It did this earlier this year. You can leave this upgrade open for a chance to get an Eclipse on sale. In fact, I have an Eclipse sale somewhere. Oh yeah, a blade from $275 to an Eclipse, which saved me $20. So the Eclipse does go on sale. It might next year at Invictus. You never know. But there's always, you can leave some space in that CCU, move this stuff, up a little bit. Just pull that up, bring the clips down, do whatever. And we're going to insert a couple more rows because we're definitely getting a little cramped in here. All right, let's look for the next discount. Next one will be probably the A1 Spirit, I'm guessing. Yeah, looks like we're doing the A1 Spirit. All right. A1 Spirit saving $25, and we'll go from the car to all. So, A1 Spirit, A1 Spirit to Raylan, and A1 is worth $200, which means this would be a $25 pledge, and we're saving $25 on the A1, which is good. We're only spending $5 to go from a car to all, which is a very weird name for a ship. Oh, I believe it's alien, so makes sense. Yep, I spelled it right. Car to all, which is $170. The next upgrade to the car to all. This is actually interesting because it looks like now we're at a point where we did miss an upgrade, which is sad, Like there is the Vulture's on sale, but it's worth $175, and since the car to all is $170, you can't upgrade from a Vulture to a car to all because you need to upgrade to a ship that's more expensive. So looks like we did miss out on the Vulture upgrade. Unfortunate, but it's $15. We'll make it up somewhere else. So the next discount will then probably be the SRV, which goes down to $150, so $15 savings. And we will go to just from the razor. So 165 SRV, SRV, going from the Mist razor. I think it's actually OR, right? Yeah. And the razor is worth $145. It's a $5 thing, which means we're saving 15. There's also there is apps that can do this for you. Like there's Google add-ons, which I will talk about one at the end of the video as well. Although I like to just use, Google Sheets because it's relatively, it's a little bit more complicated, but I think it gives me a better view on what's going on and better idea on like how to do things and how to like move stuff around and how I might save more money by implementing this upgrade versus this upgrade. So now we're gonna use I guess we're just gonna go for the C1 Spirit, which is on discount for $15. There is also the 350R, the Origin 350R, which is also on discount, and it's the same price as C1 Spirit. However, we're going to be using the C1 Spirits. It's $15 off versus the 350R, which is only $10 off. So I guess it's kind of unfortunate that it seems like all these ships, or the cheapest ship behind the C1 would be that. So it's a $10 thing. I'm just going to do the Hawk. So C1 Spirit. I always type in 2 R's when I type Spirit out. Just going too fast, I guess. 125, which means that would be a $0 savings, $20 thing. And we're going from the Hawk to the C1. And we're saving $15, spending 10. Savings check, currently, we're saving $250. And we have $70 to go to close the gap between the MR and the Hawk. And I believe the C1 is the cheapest war bond sale currently. So that might just be it. The links, that's not on sale. That's just a subscriber edition. So yeah. All right. This is the right here. This is it. $100, saving 0, spending 70. All right. So, if you want a Polaris right now, right now on November 27th, 2023, you can get a Polaris for $250 off. And I believe these discounts should also apply for, I'm assuming these discounts will stay around, be available for the next 3 more days until the 30th, because that's how long the closing ceremony goes for IE. However, if they're not, then there might be different war bond discounts available, per day for the next couple days until the 30th. And depending on how that goes, you'll have to, do different upgrades. But hopefully this example here shows you how to do it. And some of these, things some of these purchases you don't have to make right now. Like, you really only need to prioritize getting the war bond upgrades, which would be like, the M2 Hercules to the Orion, the Perseus to the Polaris, stuff that actually saves you money, Prowler 600i Explorer. And if you want to, you can cut out the middlemen and a lot of these and go straight from the 600i to the Orion. However, you'd be spending a lot more new money, so you wouldn't have any chance to spend store credit. But if you don't care about spending store credit, you just want to spend new money but save some money, get it over with, go for it. That's all you, man. So yeah, this is how you can save $250. You'll just buy all those upgrades, and then you'll go over to account, go onto my hander, and you can just sort to upgrades, and you can find the upgrade for the ship that you bought. So you'd find the Aurora MR to the Hawk upgrade, and you'd apply it, and then you'd go from the Hawk, find the Hawk to C1 upgrade and apply it. C1 to Razor, apply it. It's the most boring process of CCUing, but I mean, you're saving $250 here. It's worth your time. I mean, this only took me like, how long did it take me? Let's check OBS. I've been recording for 31 minutes, so this probably, I'm assuming I spent around 10 minutes to like do the startup. This probably only took me like 20 minutes to make. So you're saving a lot of money for the amount of time you're spending. So I encourage you, just go check it out. Applying upgrades, it's not hard, just takes some time. Yeah. And if you decide to keep the CCU chain open, and just wait, especially in some dApps like this, like $110 here, $45 here, there's potential you can save money there. So I'd encourage that you keep the CCU chain open, kind of like this. It's kind of hard to find any examples now, so I've closed off a lot of my CCU chains at this point, but leave some areas open to just, have some more room for you to spend money and like buy some more CCU upgrades in these dApps here. So yeah, that's how you can save money buying chips. And if that's all you're interested in from this video, well, goodbye. This is it. However, I am going to go over how to make one of these in Doodle Slides, if that's what you're interested in, or Doodle Sheets, if that's what you're interested in. I'll also talk about a browser extension on Google Chrome, which I'm just going to move that over here. I'll talk about a browser extension on Google Chrome that can do this for you as well. However, I like Google Sheets more because it gives me more control. All right, so if you want to make a thing like this in Google Sheets, it's pretty easy. You just want to set up an area. You're going to want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns wide, and then however many rows you'll need. As you can see, I have each of my CCU chains has a different amount of rows, because the cheaper the ship, the easier it is to, or the less CCU is applied to it. So we're just going to set outer border here, and we're also going to get some vertical borders in here. And right across this top, we're going to want bottom borders, except for I guess in this one, which we'll just take the borders off and reapply those. All right. So I'm going to do bottom border there. Find these two. We're going to merge those two cells. Give them a bottom border. You don't need to do all these borders. I just think it makes it look nicer. And of course, you gotta make the title slide just a little bit darker, like that. We're going to merge these two cells together, actually. And we're going to make this one darker as well. Alright, so add the titles, obviously. These over here. Are all going to be center. Alright. So, value increase. This one will be value increase W/A, which for here, it stands for when applicable. So basically, like, let's say you bought I'm trying to see if I have an example of this. My CCU chains, am I not? Okay, no, we do. Not really, but let's say you bought like a Vulture to Taurus upgrade and then you bought a Taurus to Defender upgrade, and at some point after you bought those upgrades, the Taurus got a value increase. Then it's like, I mean, it got a value increase technically, but it's not applicable to you because you already bought a Taurus to a Defender upgrade. That Taurus price has already been completely secured, right? So it doesn't affect your CCU chain at all. So it's not applicable. You wouldn't write it in. However, if there was something where like, the Taurus went up in price, but I had an upgrade from a Taurus to a Defender, but I didn't have anything to secure the Taurus price. I thought it wouldn't increase in price because it was already out in the game, and then it did. Now it's cut into my savings a little bit, so I would do a negative $10 value increase because the Taurus increasing in price and me not securing the price for it, that, that lost me $10. That's a shame. I did actually have an upgrade secured for the Taurus. I had the price secured because I did see that CIG announced that they were going to increase the price. However, I just decided to change it out because I would save a little bit more money by using this Vulture upgrade, which saved me $35. But that's not the point. Point is, if a ship goes up in value and it helps you, then you'll say value increase 35 or whatever, however much it increased. If it hurts you, then you'll do a negative number. And if it doesn't affect you at all, you'll leave it blank. And then for the next column over this one, this is just going to be ship price. Ship price is just the price of the ship. And then we're going to do savings. That's just how much you're saving. Pledge is how much you're spending on the upgrade from and to. These are just going to be, the ship you're upgrading from and the ship you're upgrading to. This bottom part down here is going to be your, the totals, which we're going to highlight a slightly lighter color. And then this would be the ship you're upgrading, the ship you're starting from and the ship you're starting to, a little arrow in the middle to make it look nice. And then this up here would just be the, ship you're starting from and its pledge value, how much you might have saved on it and its ship price. But let's get to the equations because there are equations here. So pledge equation, it's pretty simple. It would just be equals the sum of all of these columns, enter. And then this savings thing is pretty simple. It's almost the same thing where it's just equals the sum of this whole savings column. And then we're going to do plus the total value increase column. And now we're going to do the total value increase column, which is also easy. That's just equals the sum of this. Boom. And now we have the fun part, which is the ship price column, which is a little bit more complicated. It's going to be the ship price minus, there's going to be the, end ship price minus the pledge price, the pledge column minus the savings column, plus the value increase of the ship price column. A little bit of a weird equation, but only have to type it out once, luckily. So it's just, I've already forgotten it, to be honest. It's that, minus that, plus that. All right. So equals this, minus this, and then plus that. Basically what this means is like for the Polaris, it costs $750, right? And now we're done with this basically. So now when this happens, like if let's say the Polaris goes up in price, let's say it comes out into the game, finally, it's out, it's like probably late, end of the year, 2024, the Polaris is out in the game, it goes up in value by, let's say it would have a $50 value increase by Invictus, and then another $50 value increase by the time it comes out, it's going to be $850, and let's say, so that's a $100 value increase. Now, what happens there was, as you can see, my, savings amount went up in value because it adds the value increase tab. My pledge amount didn't change, but my ship price, that also didn't change because while it subtracts the saving amount from it, it also adds the value increase from here to cancel out on those two. A little bit of math. If you want to understand it, there you go. That's like a simple explanation for how that column works. If you don't care about how it works, you just know that it want to know that it works. Well, there you go. That's how it works. Trust me. So yeah, once value increase of like as the Polaris gets more expensive, you just type in its value increases here, and it'll increase your saving amount over here, and the bigger savings number looks cooler. So yeah, that's how you make one of these graphs. Well, not graph, but that's how you make one of these. It looks good. You can also do some more formatting, like having all of this stuff be, or all of this stuff plus that. You can make that all like left aligned because it's numbers. Meanwhile, all this stuff would be right aligned. This stuff up here would be center aligned. Stuff like that. You mess around with it, make it as good looking as you want. Yeah, so that's how you make one of these. Now, I'm going to talk about a Chrome extension that also helps you out, which is going to be Star Citizen CCU chain. Now, Star Citizen CCU chain is a Chrome extension that'll help you out. What you'll do is you can download it like you download any other Star Citizen, or like you download any other Chrome extension, and then you can sign in with your RSI account onto it, and it'll show you like all the ships you have, and you can set up CCU chains through here. It'll basically make them for you. However, personally, I'm not the biggest fan of how it works. I prefer to do it all myself. So if you want to do this, by all means, go ahead. I'm not going to tell you to do it all yourself like I do it. However, I like having full control over like what CCUs are used and things like that. So I would suggest you do it, yourself with these Google Sheets, or you can do it in Microsoft Excel as well, whatever you want. But this is also an option. I'm not going to show you how to use it. I'm just going to tell you that it exists. It's called Star Citizen. It's called Star Citizen CCU game. If you want to use it, by all means, go ahead. All right. And that should be the end of the video. That's about it. That's all I have to say. So, if you liked the video, leave a like, comment if you ever plan to CCU stuff, or if you have CCU'd stuff, comment how much you saved. And yeah, that's it. Have a nice day, guys.